right, I want to start off by saying Ka Halal Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Makaha Kodash, Brakati Yahweh, Brakati Yahweh Shai, Brakati Yahweh, Brakati Yahweh Shai, Brakati Yahweh, Brakati Yahweh Shai. Give honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, the elders who brought forth this truth and peace, and to the brothers out there that are pushing this word faithfully. This is a quick lesson. This is something I put together here recently, but I actually have some few lessons that I've had a few weeks ago, and this is about the brother not putting out constant content again. Feels like last month I did the same thing, but I want to go ahead and explain a few things. First of all, nothing changed. I'm still in constant pain, whereof few things in my life would have to be drastically changed for me to feel better, and even then we don't know how much. So let's just put it that way. Second is that it feels like, well, that's the whole thing about this. Is the second part of it. I have felt like I've racked my brain on how to handle literally being shunned away and brothers not embracing me, speaking to me as if I spoke ill about them, as if I did anything. But if that was the order, that was the order. However, falling into this trap with Satan and temptation, where the first thing I like to do, or I'm being tempted with, is to say, you know what, you did it again. Somehow you alienated. Like it was bad enough that the people, like my family and other people, by spreading this truth, would basically, shun me. But the brother, the brothers I love and whatnot, and the curses ain't stopped. So I'm getting nonstop curses on top of, but I wanted to discuss my plight and explain real quick, all right? First of all, 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13 says, there has no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man. Basically, he's saying that all the brothers who are in whatever camp, or specifically the brothers that I know, the brothers pushing this word, GMS, you all have been succumbed to temptation, all right, from apostle elders on down to us. But the Most High is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it. Salakia. So that's one thing, is that the temptation of staying this person here, this scraggly image, has been very strong, because with that self-pity, too much introspection, like, man, how could I do this and this and that, and there's a lot of different things that brought me to this place. But for one, I wanted to just briefly kind of put brothers to, my reason of feeling like this man here is mainly because I was tempted in a way where, like, the Most High knew and allowed, right? But know that, first of all, that's one of my biggest fears. You know what I'm saying? I grew up not really having anybody around. Family wasn't around, single mother, same type of thing. And that's what I'm saying about the comment. That's common. Brothers go through all that. But one thing that was crazy is if brothers just end up not fucking with you. You know what I mean? That's a big thing. Like, well, what you gonna do, right? But here I realize that, hey, it's a common thing. It's not a temptation here that other brothers ain't been put through. I know brothers right now who ain't speaking to each other that's in the truth. That at one time was like cool, but then like say, hey, you know what? We're going to push this word. So by the Most High bringing me out, finding me a way to escape, and by this truth, that I'm able to fight through. First of all, 2 Timothy 2:22, I'm going to go bust through these real quick. It says, flee also youthful lusts, but follow righteousness and faith and charity and peace. a few years ago, a lot of brothers had their fingers on the pulse of ways of making money, different platforms or whatnot. And honestly, it's just the curses don't mix. Not that brothers can't fellowship and whatnot, but the curses upon, brothers getting together doing this, we're not really meant to be completely uh, null and void as far as our debt and our these things. Yeah, you can make good situations, you can make good moves in life, better moves than other people, but for the most part, tell anybody who's ever had something how quickly something has come to take all that away from you, and you think like, what? I was just whole at a couple yards. I was, you know what I mean? But boom. So the youthful lust was being thinking, okay, well, maybe we can do this as brothers, whatever. But the problem was, getting over here to Romans 7:23. But I see another law in my members, warring against the law of my mind, bringing me into captivity to the law of sin, which is in my members. Meaning, I'm not naming no names or calling brothers. Matter of fact, shout out to and shalom to the brothers that that did, they feel like they did their part, their best, being a brother to me. You know what I mean? From the camps, the local camps here close to me, right? I'm gonna leave it at that. So I never say, and to any other brothers, but there was certain spirit that I had seen before in the past when the government had to bail out these banks, and it was a move on the streets when you spoke to people, certain businesses, certain real estate. You know what I mean? Just for that, just to be burst. You know what I mean? And that's how it's going to be in America. This is going to be a literal bursting of bubbles. All right. And I'm not saying that the brother, but it was a different vibe that some brothers was having, which got me, which spark up a youthful lust about, all right, well, maybe we could do something. Maybe make the brothers money and maybe do this stuff. You know what I mean? But the Most High was like, concentrate on just pushing my word. You know what I mean? Pushing this truth, pushing the, you know what I mean? That's what you should concentrate on. Not that you shouldn't think about making something, having something, whatever. But hey, the Most High wants us to deal with Him on a daily basis anyway. You know what I mean? So, but anyway, so going on from that to Romans 7 and seeing that, I believe, 1 Peter 5:9, it says, whom resist steadfast in the faith, knowing that the same afflictions are accomplished in your brethren that are in the world. All right, so I know that, like, boom, the same things that's making me feel like, look, brothers have gone through it. Brothers have got, um, you know, um, reprimanding from the elders, the your brothers themselves, they tell you, hey brother, you shouldn't have said that, or it's time to tighten up, whatever, you know what I mean? But instead of feeling like that, 1 Peter chapter 5:9 lets me know that the same afflictions are happening in my brethren as well in the world. Brothers in the world and brothers that are my brothers too is happening. So why should I succumb to this man here, this stressful, worried man? Look, they're not gonna believe that I'm really sick. Oh, but you can't go out. And then we had the most terrible weather, so you want to go out, but it's snow, it's ice, and then you're thinking, okay, boom, you feel weak and you're anemic. And I mean, I don't want to go all into it, but it just felt like I had to just really just share this part of this thing instead of like, do you want to stay stagnant? Do you want to feel sorry for yourself? Or do you want to push this word as truth? Do you want to put these videos up? Do you want to go push? It's a privilege to be able to go out there and look like a fool for Yahweh's sake, right? So, Romans 6, it says in 16, know ye not that to whom ye yield yourselves servants to obey? He says, so basically, know ye not that whatever you yield yourself to be. So if um if you yield yourself to be sick, if you yield yourself to be hateful or quick to wrath, or if you yield yourself to indulge in things you ain't supposed to, you know what I mean? Just straight up activities that's just going to bring you away. That's who you're obeying. That's who you're listening. You know what I mean too. But it says his servants ye are to whom ye obey, whether of sin unto death or of obedience or righteousness. Right? So his servants are to obey the Most High. Right? Shake off this old man, and especially when you get your feelings hurt and you get, you know what I mean, put out there. I'm literally put out there. You know what I mean? And said, I've talked about this in a way where looking at other brothers and said, man, this could never be me. I could never be like just sitting there thinking like, man, how, why? But guess what? The Most High made a way. He says, but will the temptation also make a way to escape that ye may be able to bear it? All right. Luke chapter 8, verse 13 says, they on the rock are they which, when they hear, receive with the word. Oh, yeah. I didn't want to be this person. So Luke chapter 8, verse 13, basically, it goes in chapter 8, right, about people whenever they hear the word. Matter of fact, it's called the word, like the root gospel or something like that, talking about like planting basically in this gospel. And this is the last person I started really thinking when the Most High is dealing with me, going through this, and says, all right, you heard about it, right? But Luke 18, 8 and 13 says, they on the rock are they, which when they hear, receive the word with joy, and they have no root, which for a while believe, and in a time of temptation fall away. And man, brothers, I am not that brother. I am not this brother that lit here for a while, be like, yeah, you know what I mean, shalom, and then just fall away, you know. And for a while, because of the fact of being shunned and because of that stress, and then on the mention, man, the hell, man, people ain't talking to me. Regular people in my family already dubbed me like, you crazy, you in a cult. You know what I mean? We don't really deal with you like that. We don't really, you know what I'm saying? And sit there and I'm like, wow, you know, this is it. This is what I feel like Job. You know what I mean? Even my woman to just say, look, just take a look at you and have a dirt, filthy look. You want to go fight. You be like, man, what are you looking? You know what I mean? But you realize you're like, wow, this is it. This is it. And I'm not the one that here received the word with joy and have no root. My roots are deep. You hear me? I've done a lot. 2 Timothy 2:15. I have studied to show thyself approved, a workman that needed not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. I have drove, it felt like thousands of miles to go fellowship with brothers and to go put in the work. So no, that is not me. And this ain't me neither. All right? So Salakia, I just want to put that out there. Didn't really mean to be a lesson, but it just meant to be something that the Most High had revealed and said, you need to go ahead and confess and to man up and say, look, hey, you got this is no way this is not your rest. All the stuff going on around you, all the things that's happening there, it's Satan making you feel like you ain't got a way. But if you persevere, if you do this work till the very end, the Most High will make it all worth it. All right? So with that, hey, I want to go ahead and say shalom. All right. Shalom.